Hello, hello. Welcome back to something you've never been to before. So not welcome back. Hello. My name is Ava. This is a podcast and also a YouTube video if you're here from YouTube. Wow. I'm so excited to be here. I've been thinking about starting a podcast for so long and also posting on YouTube again. So I thought, why not both? But this is something that I really want to actually take seriously and really get into. So yeah, here we are. I think I posted like a poll on my Instagram or something. I was like, should I start a podcast? And every single person said yes, except for people who were like, no, I'm not a dancer. I was really surprised about that feedback, but then I thought about it more. We really don't have a lot of podcasts as dancers. And if we do, they're so formal. Like, I don't feel like it's an actual open discussion. I just feel like I'm listening to someone talking about something that they know a lot about, but not in like a haha way, in like a I'm better than you way. Could be projecting. No, I'm kidding. I don't know, but I feel like I've been like craving something that's more intimate and more funny and lighthearted as a dance podcast, and not just, I don't know, not so serious. Like, dance is already so serious. We need some place to vent and we need some place to just hang out, you know? So it's just you and me hanging out. Like, it's the dance chat. Oh yeah, I didn't even say the name. Welcome to the dance chat. I'm your host, theavachappell, and I'm so happy that you're here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I am not going to probably be looking at you. I'm still getting used to the flow of everything. So I'm going to be looking at my notes right here. And if you're listening, just beware that this is my first time ever filming a podcast. This is my first episode. Actually, I lied. I filmed for an hour before this, and I was like, ew, I don't like the way this is going. I was like, I'm ranting, but then I remembered I can rant. It's a podcast. So, but I was like, I want to rant about something else. So I restarted it, and here we are, whole new beginning. But my point of all this is that I haven't worked out the kinks yet of everything, so I'm still getting used to it. So this is going to be the worst episode of the entire series. It's only up from here. So yeah, I want to keep it simple today, and we're just going to be talking about my craziest dance stories. I've been dancing since I was 13. That's already a crazy story. I broke my knee. I was a volleyball player. And then I started dance. It really pains me to say this. It pains me to say this. I started dancing because I watched Dance Moms, and I used to mirror Maddie Ziegler. Like, I would watch TV and mirror them doing second turns, and that's why today I am a lefty. But yeah, so I didn't even enter into dancing, like training actually at a studio, for a year after I started quote unquote dancing. So I was that kid in their house, like, Mom, look, I'm a dancer, doing second turns, but it's really just me hopping around with my foot flexed. And my mom's like, wow, what did I do wrong with my child? No, I'm kidding. But I really honestly, like, my parents thought that it was just another whim, another thing I didn't like. So they didn't want to pay for me to dance. So it took a year of me choreographing really bad dances and weird dances. Like, I think I choreographed something about like getting on a train in Paris, and I had a briefcase, and I like did a little musical theater solo. But this is all, keep in mind, with no knowledge of dance. So this is how I started. I wasn't even a dancer first. I was a choreographer. I would just force my sister to dance with me, and I would make up routines, and I really like to boss people around. And I'm lucky because now that's my job. So, yeah. So then finally, a year after that, I started dancing. And I remember the exact same day I went to Legacy, which is the studio that I danced at and trained at. It was January 4th, 2016, I believe. And I think I was 13. But that was my first day of dance. And I joined the competition team the next year. Got point shoes the next year. I know that's totally crazy, but I was the type of kid that used to stretch like 3 times a day. And I had to go to the chiropractor because I had hip problems. But I felt like because I started dancing at 13, that technically I started late. So in my brain, that was late. And yeah, that's just a little bit of a background story on me. I grew up competing. I could go on forever about like my whole dance story, but I'll let it play out naturally over the course of these episodes. I don't really want to rant about myself. I want to rant about the experiences that I remember. being so funny. So I was on competition team, and I remember one particular competition. This was during COVID, so we had block schedules. So that means all of the dances would they would go in a row. So it just means a lot of quick changes. Basically, your studio would come. The only dances that would be on stage would be the dances from your studio, and then you'd leave. The next studio would come because they were trying to make it safe and better for competition, stuff like that. So one year, we went to a competition. I was in probably like 9 or 10 dances, so I had so many quick changes. Your girl was stressed out of her mind. Like, I'm talking ripping garments off. You know, if you did competitive dance, like, it was serious. Like, it was serious. It's either like, I'm a competitive dancer, yeah, and you like, that's it, or you were like, I am a competitive dancer. It's in my bones. It's in my DNA. Like, you can never take that out of me. And I was the diehard bitch that was like, dance is my life. I can't do anything else. I can't live. I can't even pick up a fucking, I don't know. I can't even pick up a, what do you call the things in ping pong? This is a bad analogy, but I wouldn't even play sports or do anything else because I was like, I'm a dancer. I can't betray my kind. So moral of the story, so obsessed with dance, so serious, so into it. Backstage at competition, I had a really quick change or something into my solo, and butt glue. If you don't know what butt glue is, you're probably not a dancer, so you need to leave. But butt glue is what you use to glue your costume onto you so that it doesn't show anything when you're on stage. So we usually use butt glue on our butts so that you don't get a wedgie on stage. And I was putting on my solo costume, which I believe was like a brief under a dress at the time. And butt glue is not just butt glue, okay? This stuff goes everywhere, if you know what I mean. Like, you've got to make sure nothing shows on stage. So we're very generous with our application of butt glue, dancers. So I use my roll on butt glue. I rush backstage. Or I rush to get dressed or something. All of the sudden, I feel a tingle down there. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I realize this is not normal. So it starts to get cold too. I'm like, what is happening? And then it's all over everywhere. But I have to go on stage. Like, there's not a shower. I don't have makeup wipes or anything I can stick down there. I don't know what happened. Basically, I did not use butt glue. I used Icy Hot. And this Icy Hot was not just on my butt. Let me just say that. So moral of the story is, if you're a dancer and you're a competitive dancer, don't confuse your Icy Hot and your butt glue. And the funny thing is that this actually happened to me again recently. Like, I can't say that I learned my lesson. I've done it several times. Most recently was last week. I was getting ready to teach, actually, to go to the studio. And I got out of the shower. I was late. I was rushing. Well, I wasn't late. That makes me sound like a bad dance teacher. I was almost going to be late if I didn't hurry. So I'm really rushing here. Get out of the shower, grab what I think is my deodorant, which, keep in mind, has the same container as my butt glue. I don't know why that's a good idea, but I'm like a hippie. So, I mean, of course I am. Don't I just look like I would have organic deodorant? So I have organic deodorant, and it happens to be in the same roll-on container as butt glue. No, not butt glue. Sorry, as Icy Hot. Okay. In order to record a podcast, I really need to learn how to speak. So instead of using deodorant, I used Icy Hot again. And yeah, I didn't learn my lesson. So another good story I have is from a rehearsal day at the studio. Don't worry, this person gave me permission to share the story, but I won't use their name just out of, I don't think I would want this story to be shared using my name. But she was like, no, go ahead and say this story. And I was like, I'm not gonna tell them it was you. But if you know anyone from my studio or know me, we all know who it was. We all know who this is. So said person, we're in rehearsals. She's having like period cramps or something. And everyone's like, blah, blah, blah. Take an Advil or take Advil. Like, you need to take Advil. But does anybody else notice how if someone else tells you to take Advil, like, you just can't do it? But like if you have the original thought in your head, okay, I need to take Advil, then you just take Advil. It's simple like that. But if you hear someone else tell you to take Advil, it's like, well, I was going to take Advil until you told me to do that. Like, why do we have a problem taking Advil when other people suggest it? I don't know. But moral of the story, we're all trying to get her to take Advil because she's like doubled over in rehearsal. She finally agrees to it. She leaves. She comes back. 10, 15 minutes pass. I don't really know how long's passed. We're in rehearsal, like dancing intensely. She's like, my stomach hurts. We're all like, it didn't help. Like, it made it worse. And she's like, no, my stomach really hurts. This woman runs out of dance rehearsals, which is unheard of. Like, our dance teacher is like, what's going on? Runs straight to the bathroom. She's in the bathroom for like 30 minutes. She comes out. Everyone's like, what the fuck happened? She didn't take Advil. She took 2 laxatives. So another moral of another story is, well, the moral of both stories, don't get your stuff confused. But yeah, so that's really funny. I can remember a time where, well, I can remember lots of times. I'm not good at these transitions yet. We're going to get better at them. Randomly jumping to another story. So my friend, another one of my friends, she used to perform with us in our showcase because our studio has like recreational dancing where we've got weekly classes and then we've got the competition team. So the showcase is like an end of year showcase, and we've got we perform basically all of our recreational dances and some of the competition stuff, but it's mostly like for the recreational classes or just taking classes. So we've got this point dance for ballet, and we had to be in our soft shoes for the first half, the girls who were on point, and then we had to change into our point shoes during the dance. Like, we didn't even have a number in between. Like, I think, or either that, or I was helping a little kid class and I had to change point shoes and change into my point shoes before my ballet routine started. I don't know, something like that. Basically, I had a quick change into ballet shoes. And I'm late to run on stage for my spot. And my friend, what I did not realize was that she took my spot on stage. So the whole end of the dance, we were in each other's spots and we didn't even realize it. We literally just went on as normal. And then I got off stage and I'm like, wait a second. Did you just dance in my spot? And she's like, yes. Did you just dance in my spot? I was like, yes. And I'm like, what the heck happened? But yeah, I don't know. That one was funny. Trying to think of other things. Oh, you know what? I've got a good one. So if you dance at Legacy, you're very familiar with this story. And I tried to think of all these stories that are funny, but I have some good, like I can tell you another good wholesome story. I'll put that one at the end. Okay. How about that? But for now, we're just going to laugh a little bit. Just going to loosen up, get to know each other. I'm pretending this is like a first date. So that's why it's kind of going terrible so far. But so we had a show this was a while back, another recreational dance that we were doing, not our competition team. This is when I was a lot younger. I was a freshman, and most of the girls on the team were older. So we were performing this big routine. It was 007 themed or whatever, James Bond. So we've got a bunch of different songs. We had like some Skyfall by Adele was in there. Basically, my point is it was a mashup. In between songs, though, the music would stop just for a second. It would fade out and then it would go back in. And if you're a dancer watching, usually you're like, oh, okay, it fades out, but they're still on stage in their poses, right? So the music, it's not over. The dance is not over. Well, we were at a show with a bunch of like moms, high school moms to these high school kids, and it was a show at a high school, so the lighting and the tech was all high schoolers doing this. So we go on. Did you hear my stomach grumble? I need to eat something. Sorry if you can hear that. If you can't, then just disregard what I said. But so we go on stage, we perform the first half of the dance. The music fades out to transition into the next song. We're all holding like a sassy jazz pose in the back. Like, I'm pretty sure both my hands were over my head in like a cross, like cobra sort of shape, if you can imagine that. Staple dance pose, whatever. I thought it was the coolest one there. It doesn't matter. But so we're holding our poses. Lights go off. We knew was going to happen because we're at a high school. Everyone always thinks the dance is over when the song fades out, even though it's a transition to the next song. So the lights go out. Everyone starts clapping. In my head, I'm like, oh my God, like, are they dumb? We're not done yet. We're still on stage. So while the lights, and this show does a blackout. That's the key thing here. They do a blackout. So these people thought they were next, and they thought we were off stage. So these really old people, like I'm talking like 70 years old. When I'm 70, I want to be dancing still like that. I want to be performing with another guy in a chair. Like, I want to be performing like that when I'm 70. And this is a performance of all kids. I don't know why these old people are here, but they walk on stage, they set up their chair in the middle of the stage, and the lights come back on and our music starts again. And we have to start dancing at these old people. And we just see them scurrying off stage as fast as they possibly can. They're so embarrassed. We're all laughing so hard trying to get through the dance, literally trying to just get through the dance and not laugh our asses off. And the funniest part is we come off stage and we find out that these people were not even next. They weren't even the next number. Like, what? Oh God, that's a good one. So funny. But if you hear me like sniffling and stuff, it's because I was getting over a cold, but I couldn't wait to record this. I was too excited. Another really cool dance story. Let's just go to this one right away. So and a lot of my episodes are going to be more about like advice and talking about things. I just wanted to start this off lighthearted because I thought it'd be a good way to kind of get to know each other. So my passion for choreography has always been there. I told you guys that I choreographed for a year before I even started training. So my senior year, I was lucky enough to, my teacher let me choreograph a group routine, let me set a piece. And I was so excited. I set this piece called Goodbye. I still think it was probably one of my best pieces I've ever built because I had all of that passion over the years build up. And I finally let it out. Like, I used to sit in my living room and I would choreograph to imaginary dancers in my brain and like make formations because I've always loved that. It's always what I wanted to do. So when she told me I could choreograph a piece my senior year, I was so excited and I put my heart and soul into it and I wanted it to be perfect. So we did this piece, me and 3 other dancers that I actually teach now. They were younger than me then. They're seniors now. I love them all. It was just basically people that I had grown up dancing with, so it was the perfect scenario. We just danced really well together, us 4. So set this piece. Our first competition was Dance Makers. If you don't know what Dance Makers is, it's a competition and a convention. I think it's mostly, it's US based. I don't think it goes out of the US, but it's just a really great event. It was my first convention I had ever been to. And I loved it every year. I still love it. My kids are going this year and I can't wait to go. I may pop in some classes. I'll be that old lady in the back. No, I'm just kidding. I still look like a kid because I'm 5'3". Anywho, that was a lot of different limbs that I went out on. So let me catch my breath. So our first time competing this routine was at Dance Makers, and this was also during COVID, so awards were online. I remember we went on stage, we performed, and this piece meant a lot to me because I was a senior, and also the song was really special to me, had a lot of memories. So we performed this piece, and I got off stage, and I was crying, but like happy tears. It could not have gone more perfect is what I remember thinking. And we had to wait until Sunday night for awards. So on Sunday night, we had to watch awards live because it was COVID and they were doing live awards. It was annoying. So I was at home with my family in my living room watching, and the awards for senior group dances comes on. And they're like, third runner up. And I'm like, shit, we didn't place. Second runner up. Oh my God, we didn't place at all. First runner up. And it wasn't us. Well, literally, the piece won first place in the senior category. And from then on, I knew I was like, okay, I'm going to be a choreographer. I knew in that moment, I knew I was capable of doing it because I got recognized and I placed with my choreography. And I was just like, it was the happiest probably I've ever felt in my life, because all my life, I was not all my life, since I was 13 and started becoming a dancer, I wanted to choreograph it, but I didn't know how I could do it, and I didn't know if I could be successful and pursue it as a career. And in that moment, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So pretty cool, full circle moment. I teach at that studio that I went to my whole life. I teach there now, Legacy, and I'm really happy. I also train in Orlando, and I commute there and everything. So I've got a pretty good balance going on right now. But now I'm a choreographer at Legacy, and it's amazing. And I teach too. I teach all around Central Florida. And yeah, it's crazy how things work out, because I don't think if I would have competed that piece and had that opportunity that my teacher gave me, thank you, Miss Shannon, you're the best. You are like the most amazing person ever. Gave me the best opportunities ever. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's making me tear up thinking about it, because I didn't I didn't know I was capable of that. And I really took that to heart when I won. I was like, when we won, I should say. I'm sounding like, I don't know. It sounds egotistical because it's about winning and it's all that. But really, it wasn't validation for me as much as it was just like, oh, I can do it. I am good. Like, after starting dance at 13 and being told my technique wasn't good by like people at conventions, and being told that I was like too spazzy, or that I didn't have the right look to dance, or I was too short, or whatever, all this stuff. Like, that moment is when I realized, okay, maybe I can actually pursue this as a career. And so I always knew I wanted to dance, but I didn't know if I could choreograph. And that moment is what helped me realize is choreography is what I wanted to do. But yeah. So ending off with that wholesome moment, I just wanted to have like a short episode this time. I don't want to talk your ear off about myself. I'd rather talk about things that are important, and things that you guys want to hear about. So I'd love if you could DM me requests or anything for this episode. I just wanted to for this podcast, I just want to get a first episode out there. Thanks for watching and listening to the dance chat. It's so cool to just be able to talk and express myself like this, and in a real way. I'm going to try to keep it real. I think I'll do this thing for the first few episodes where I'm like sounding a little formal, but it's just really me getting comfortable. And I will, but I'm super excited for this podcast. It was just inspired by like the amazing conversations I've had with my friends that are in dance, and what we talk about, and things that I think should just be brought more awareness to. But I hope for today's sake you found that as a source of entertainment and at least a little bit funny. Definitely let me know what you thought, and I appreciate you being here so much. Thank you, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye. Mwah.